Hi, this is Marcy Davis with Glasscaster, and I'm here in LAUSCHA again, yay, with Michael Haberland. How you doing, Michael?
Thanks. Good, Marcy. Good. Nice to have you here.
Thank you. I love to come here. This is my favorite place on earth. And Michael is a third-generation Christbaum-Schmuck maker. He makes Christmas ornaments, and we're going to learn a little bit about his story. When is the first time you held a piece of glass in the flame?
The first time that I took a piece of glass in the flame was maybe when I was 16. It was possible for young people to learn a little bit glass blowing after the school, and I took some pieces and make an aunt, a little aunt.
Oh, like a bug?
Yes.
Insect.
Yes.
Ah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Was this at the school in LAUSCHA?
It was after the school. It was possible to make it after the school in a place here in LAUSCHA. Uh-huh. At this time, we have only the Berufsfachschule für Glas in LAUSCHA, the Glass Art School in LAUSCHA. Yes, this was my first experience on the flame.
So, was it love at first sight? Did you think, this is for my life, or how did you feel?
Love for the first sight was with glass, with a glass elephant. I saw a glass elephant when I was a child, and I was coming out of the kindergarten to the work of my mother, and she works at this time in a glass factory here in LAUSCHA, and I think I was in the wrong place, in the wrong room, and I came into the room where the boss was for my mother, and the place on his table stood an elephant made of glass, and I can look through, and he asked me who are you, and I said I'm Michael. I'm looking for my mother, and he took me to my mother. And after that, I asked my mother, "What is this?" I saw an animal. It was this elephant made of glass, and so she said, "This is the article, and some kind of this we sell in this company." And I think from this moment, I want to be a glass blower.
And so, when did you learn to make elephants?
It was quite later. It was I was learning art glass blower from 1985 till 1987, and we learned during the GDR time. We are here in the east part, and we learned vases to do and massive glass, and in this time we learned also elephants and other animals.
And so, tell us about the style of training, because, in America we have, there are some schools like Penland or Pilchuck where you go for several weeks only and study with a certain artist and on a certain subject. And then maybe there are one or two college programs that focus on flame work. Many universities have furnace glass with, for offhand glass blowing. But I think the training here is vastly different. And so I'm curious about how you were taught. Were there many students together in the class learning the same item at the same time?
Yes, the practical was near from LAUSCHA in Neuhaus, and we were two boys and 4 girls, and we have one master. He shows us the articles, and we all look over his shoulder, and then we learned 2 years. Yes.
So was it 2 years making animals at the beginning?
No, it was half and half in glass blowing, and the other year was in massive glass.
Is massive glass then sculpted glass? Solid. Solid. Okay. So did you always want to make ornaments, or you wanted to make the sculpted?
No, I'm learning to be a glassblower, art glassblower, because I loved to do glass in freestyle. My loveliest piece was a horse, a springing horse. I don't know if this is right in English. Sorry for my imperfect English, but also like to do vases and some other things. And the reason why I'm now a ornament glass blower, a Christmas making ornament blower, is because of the end of the GDR. I was out of work, and I must see what I can do for the future.
So during the GDR times, where did you work?
When I was finished with my Lehrzeit, what is this?
Training.
With my training, we were able to do work at home, and I was working 2 or 3 years at home, and then the Berlin Wall falls down, and reunion, the Germans, and that's why it was a very hard time for everyone. Not only the glass blowers in every work at this time. Many people lost their jobs, and so am I. I was at this time 21 years, and one of the youngest in the company, and I think it depends on what have you for connections to the people in the company, in the old company, and so on. And I don't know, I was one of the youngest and the first one that lost their jobs. And then my mother was thinking over, so what can her son do in the future? And for me it was, I want to stay a glass blower, and she said maybe we should look behind our house. We have a smaller house, and she said my grandpa have always done Christmas ornaments with molds, and she said, so let's see, maybe we will find some of them, and one day we were looking for, and we found it.
And so what shapes, what styles did you find?
Mostly it wasn't birds. We do mostly glass birds with glass tails in the back, and squirrels and centaurs and angels, and but the whole thing, it was birds.
And was it difficult for you to learn how to use the molds and make the products, or was it easy?
So yes, it was not easy at the first step, because you need other tools to make it, and the difference between an art glass blower and a Christmas ornaments blower is that when the glass gets cold from the art glass blower, you are finished with your work. And when you are blowing Christmas ornaments, after this part, the works begins. You have nothing more than a clear center or bird or a snowman or whatever, and you must silver it. You must dunk it in paint, and then hand painting. It's all hand painting. Yes.
So it takes a lot of time.
It takes a lot of time, and it smells sometimes a little different. Yes.
Yes, when you're in the studio and they're painting the ornaments, you lose a few brain cells because of the lacquers are pretty strong. I think it makes you a little dizzy after a while. Kind of makes you giggle.
Yes,
it's a little fun. Lots of fun.
I must open the doors and the windows, and yes. But it's better than you have nothing to work, I always said.
And there are how many kinds of styles now? that you make?
Oh, that's a difficult question because we have you can make from one mold different styles in different colors with different glitters and so on. But at the moment, I would say we have a product CD, and our product CD, there are maybe 700 samples.
Wow. Now, you don't make your own molds. There is one or two mold makers, and it's a secret. How do the molds come?
Yes, that's another problem in the meanwhile. So I'm only know two mold makers at this moment, and yes, these two men are very old, and sometimes they want to work and sometimes they don't want to work, and that's the problem. And when one or two from them are gone, I don't know what the future will bring with new molds.
Wow. And then also, like for the birds, some of them have feathers in the back and some have the spun glass. Now, who makes the like spun glass for the tails?
The spun glass is doing one person also here in LAUSCHA. His name is Hans Karl. And it's some similar about his story and my story. I think it was also so that he was out of work after the German reunion, and he thought maybe he can do this with this old spinning glass machine from his parents, or I don't know, I'm not sure from which one he has it, but yes, he started to spinning glass, and it works until today, and I think it's the only spinning glass machine of this type in whole Europe.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yes, and it's old-fashioned. Every older people, they knows it from the childhood. They want the glass birds with glass tails.
Tell us a little bit about, you want to make an ornament. How do we begin? What do we do? Tell us about an ornament from beginning to end, how it is made.
So, okay, you sit on the table, and in front of you is a flame, the burner, and also the special what I do is only glass blowing ornaments in a mold. And we have a tool also in this area where the burner is, and we get two parts of these molds, and I'm using it with my feet.
Mm-hmm.
So the first step is to do. I make the bulb.
Mm-hmm.
No, I make the. I don't know the English. What is this?
The glass kolben.
The glass kolben.
Uh-huh.
I make the glass kolben hot, and when it's hot enough, then I must turn it very quickly in the one half of the mold,
mm-hmm.
and with my feet I can close the other part.
It comes down.
It comes down, yes, and this is the moment I will blow inside of the mold,
mm-hmm.
and then it must also get very fast to open it and to do it outside of the mold, because it otherwise would break
mm-hmm.
fast. And I put it in once again in a slowly flame.
Yeah, it's like propane only, no
yes,
oxygen,
yes.
almost a kneeling flame.
Yes, and then that's all. That's all at that moment, and after that starts the silvering.
And so, tell us a little about the silvering process, because in America, not many people do. If it's a secret, don't tell any secrets.
No, it's no secret.
It's like, okay, up here is where and then there's this tube that comes down. Like, explain the setup.
Okay, you have on every ornament you have the part you have blown it, and at this part you fill in. It comes from a bottle, and from a big glass bottle that we found also from my grandpa from the old days, and with a kind of pipette, yes. I fill in a part of silver nitrate, and then it comes. The second part is ammoniac. And then when this is done, I shake it a little bit, and then you can see some reaction starts. It gets at first a little bit brown and then darker brown, and then I put it in hot water, and after 7 or 8 seconds I get out of the water and shake it, and so the reaction is finished. When the reaction is finished, you have a silver ornament, so like a mirror.
And then you put it upside down. And the point is on the nail that is sticking up on a piece of wood next to all of its neighbors, where you must have maybe dozens of them standing in a row.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you have to rinse or only drain the inside? Do you put water inside, or the chemical just comes out?
It's distillated water with silver. This is the first step. And the second mix is also distillated water with ammoniac.
But when you drain it, do you ever put water inside to get the chemical out, or it just drains out? Okay.
No, it must only get dry.
Okay. And then you take it over. You have these big, like buckets, big containers of lacquer.
Yeah.
Right. So that's next.
Yes. Yeah. It depends on what the customer want. For example, when you have a snowman, so the most part of a snowman, is white, and that's why it makes sense to dunk this snowman in white color. So and then after the color is, so you have silver inside, then comes the glass, and outside is the lacquer, the white lacquer, and then it makes sense to paint the snowman after that. Or when you have a customer that said, "Oh, I want to have a silver bird," then you have not so much work. You have only silver this bird, and you can paint it however you want, with red, blue, any kind of color we can do, and with gold glimmer, silver glimmer, hollow glimmer.
So yes, it's the glue.
It's the glue.
Okay. And some of the lacquers are shiny, transparent. Some are like matte finish, satin.
Yes, dull.
Finish. Yeah, dull. And then you have something new that I love. The champagne. What do you call it?
Okay, this is something new for me. Maybe for you. Maybe even you are. How long it coming to you? To LAUSCHA?
8 years.
8 years.
Yeah.
No, I can't believe it that you saw it not before.
Well, no, I mean I have, but I never noticed this.
You never realized that is ice lacquer.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what is it called?
Ice lacquer. It looks like frozen water on the window, on the window in the winter.
Yeah.
When you have some problems with your windows. But on the glass it looks very nice. I like it also. Yes.
It's really pretty. It does. It kind of looks like a frosty window when it's cold outside and warm inside, and it just has this look to it, and it's really pretty. And so that's like my new favorite thing. Okay, so that's how they're made. Then you must take off the point, right, and you put on the cap.
After dunking the ornament into the lacquer, or after the painting, when it's dry, then we cut it on the top, and we make the we call it in German Hütchen.
Hütchen?
Hütchen, yes. The head. So this part you can hang it on the tree.
Right.
And it's finished. That's all.
And then it comes to me, and then I get it to all my listeners. Time for a brief commercial break and a word from our sponsor. Glasscraft began in 1970 with the goal of sharing tools, techniques, and information with a growing glass community. Today they're still building on that idea as a supplier of glassblowing equipment and a source of information and support for glass artists and craftspeople. Glasscraft was founded by Homer Hoyt, a flame-working pioneer who literally wrote the book on the subject. Homer was an influential teacher and artist who helped the glass trade grow beyond its sometimes secretive traditions into an accessible community. Glasscraft continues to fulfill his wishes by offering workshops and educational opportunities, along with raw material and tools. When Glasscraft joined forces with Dave Winship of Winship Designs in 2009, they gained the participation of an industry leader who shares their dream of expanding the potential of glass art. Dave and his team participate regularly in glass events around the country. He also sponsors the Becky Winship Scholarship for the Glass Art Society in honor of his sister, and is a board member of the John Burton Program and the Eugene Glass School. The Glasscraft team continue to carry out the company's original vision by sharing knowledge and providing the finest tools of the trade. You can find out more about them at www.glasscraftinc.com or call them at 888-272-3830. We'd like to welcome Glasscraft as our newest sponsor. When you place your order, don't forget to let them know you heard their ad on Glasscaster. Like public television, Glasscaster depends upon the generosity of its listeners in order to survive. If you would like to be a sponsor, go to www.fireladyproductions.com and click on sponsorship to find out the details. Or if you would just like to make a PayPal donation because you're so enjoying the shows, please feel free to do so. Can you tell me a little of the history of glass ornaments in LAUSCHA?
In English, okay, I will try. It's very difficult.
German's okay too.
Yeah. It starts in about 1890. So the story is, the people say that there was a glass blower. The glass blowers at this time were very poor, and they make at this time glass for the life, bottles and so on. And when it was Christmas at one time, they always make hanging on the Christmas tree apples and pears and so on, and fruits. And one day a glass blower had no apples, no fruits. They were very poor, and so this one glass blower, no one knows his name, had the idea to make glass fruits on the Christmas tree, and that's why the fruits was the first glass ornaments, I think, in the whole world. Yes.
And so it was just based because the fresh fruit was too expensive.
Yes,
and
to
so
get for this glass blower.
And so he had the glass. See, I love that story. I think this, and I just learned that story this trip. I had not heard that story before. No.
8 years you're coming.
I had heard a different story about glass blowers having a contest to blow like a kugel, like a big ball, and who could blow the biggest ball. That was the story I heard, a different story.
No, bigger balls are later in the history, because it was at the first time not the first glass blowers was not able to blow big glass balls because they have not enough energy to make this.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And so, what about the pickles? In America, everyone assumes that that everybody in Germany has pickles on their trees, but I don't think that's true.
So that's always a story that makes me smile, because I'm just get this story also since 4 years. I get it from the internet, and I know only the story goes that way, so that every American knows about that the Germans hang on in their Christmas tree a gherkin. This person who see the gherkin or found the gherkin at first will get an extra gift. And my experience is that every person in America knows this story about the Germans. But when I tell Germans this story, they say, no, never heard it about it. But anyway, when I hear about that story, I was thinking, so that I will look once again in the box, in the big wood box from my grandpa that I found in 1991, and in there I found also a pickle.
You
a
did?
Pickle mold, yes.
Uh-huh.
And that's why I think that my grandpa does also pickles at his time.
Uh-huh. That's cool.
Yeah.
But the story about the extra gift on the tree is false.
I don't know. And on our Christmas tree, we hang, of course, also sometimes gherkins, but extra gift. No.
Well, maybe you can start it as a new tradition.
Okay.
From the time of the beginning of the first ornaments, now LAUSCHA becomes the biggest producer of the glass ornaments, and this was because of F.W. Woolworth,
Yes,
correct?
that is correct, yes.
So tell me about, what do you know about this part of the story?
I know that this glass blower, what I told you, with these apples and so on, they make more training, and you know, when the time goes by, the balls going bigger.
Mm-hmm.
And we have in this area the town Sonneberg.
Mm-hmm.
It's maybe 20 kilometers from here. And Sonneberg is famous and was famous for toys. And many people, many business people from the world came at this time to Sonneberg.
Oh, okay.
And there were fairs.
Mm-hmm.
And also maybe Woolworth.
Mm-hmm.
And so he came in this area, LAUSCHA, and saw Christmas balls. Mm-hmm. And that's why the first years it goes, the first Christmas ornaments goes to first where there were toys.
Mm-hmm.
And Woolworth saw the Christmas balls, and I think he did the first bigger order. It was, I think, 200,000 Christmas balls.
Wow.
Yes, and this was the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
This was the beginning for the glass ornaments from LAUSCHA.
And so it got really big, but then I think there were a few things. Well, we had 2 world wars, and I think when that happened, that was a problem. We couldn't get the ornaments from Germany.
Yes.
And then what happened, I think it was the Second World War, I'm not sure, that Corning...
the museum?
Yeah, well, the company, they have what's called a ribbon machine, I think. It makes light bulbs.
Yes,
it makes light bulbs.
Yes.
And during the war, when they couldn't get the ornaments from Germany, they retrofitted, they changed their machine from light bulbs to making round, perfectly round, uniform balls for Christmas. And so by the time the wars were over, the American public was now used to these shiny round balls on their trees, and so that became more common than the European ornaments. I also heard, and you tell me what you know about this, I also heard that by a certain point, many of the ornament makers, they died. This is what I heard, because before the silver nitrate, weren't they silvering with mercury and with lead?
That's right, with mercury and with plumbum.
Yeah, lead.
Lead.
Yeah.
Yes.
And as we all know, and the thing is that it being a cottage industry, people working at home in their kitchens and stuff.
Yes, and then they eat with the same hands and so on.
Yeah, it's heavy metal poisoning was a big
was
problem.
in the very, very early days, yes. But then some... I have read that 2 persons from LAUSCHA, they were in the Apotheke.
Yeah.
Apotheke?
Yeah, the drugstore, the pharmacy.
In the pharmacy, and they find out the system with the silver inside.
Uh-huh.
And at this time, it goes the work healthier.
Yeah, so the silver is better. It's still tough. Silver is not good for you either, but it's better than mercury and lead. And so I heard that. And so then things changed. Now, during GDR times, did the government buy all of the ornaments? How did the ornaments get distributed during that time?
During GDR time, the whole production was to give on the state. The state has the hand over the glass ornaments and the art glass, and it was a good way for the state to get on on hard money from the West.
Okay,
Yes.
currency.
Yes, of course it was possible and easy for glassblower to get some money extra. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes, and but at GDR time we have no private industry in the glass here.
But I know you were not making them personally during GDR time, but for people who were, was everything they made, they just keep making and everything is bought by the state? You have a buyer for everything you can make? Is that true?
Yeah, I only know it was crazy. Many people here in LAUSCHA were doing glass at GDR time, and you have no shops here. It was not able to get some from glass on official in official ways.
Wow.
Yes.
And so then, after GDR is over, now you can do what you want, but it's difficult, right? To switch to a free market system.
Yes.
The economy is.
Yes. It was very hard, but I think it's at every time in every business when you start, it takes time and nerves and money and
And then the other thing is the competition here, because there are many glass shops, and while everybody has their own personal style, and each house almost has a shop, so they're competing for the same market.
Yes, we have a very big offer here on glass. You have glass to hang on the trees or to put it on the table, or every glass blower that makes at this time glass has his own way and his own pattern, I think.
And since GDR times are over, what happened to the tourism in LAUSCHA? How many visitors come now?
That's a thing I don't know. I don't know how much visitors, but I only know it could be more. And it's almost the thing with the German reunion. Before the wall falls down, we have very big problems here with the streets and with the houses and so on. And it's in most areas of the ex-GDR. So you must build the infrastructure, and that's sometimes hard for the shops in the town when you have machines in front of your shop and so on. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And that's not for months. Sometimes here in LAUSCHA for years. But we are hoping and we are praying, and that sometimes, it's everywhere in the world. When the work is done, everything looks beautiful, and no one will remember how hard it was before.
Can you tell me a little bit about the difference in your life, or in daily life, between GDR times and now? What?
The daily life in GDR time was for me not until I get I would say a teenager. Not so complicated. We have enough to eat, we have enough to drink, and we have, I would say, not many sorrows. Me and my mother also. You found it safe, but when you are getting older, when you get a teenager, you want you want simple things like jeans. Or some chocolate, and the special things in life, the nice things in life. You have not many nice things in the GDR times.
You couldn't get chocolate?
We had chocolate, but the West chocolate, everyone knows, was much, much better than the East chocolate. And that's only one example. And yes, and of course, the problem with traveling. You have here in LAUSCHA some areas you can see from the mountain to West Germany. And when you are young and your mother said to you, okay, there is West Germany, there is Coburg, or there is some other towns in the near, maybe 10 or 20 kilometers from here was the borderline between East and West. It's hard to understand for a young person. So why can't I go there until I'm 65? For you must know, for us it was clear to know we never will see West Germany until we are in the age of 65. When we go to retirement.
Then
allowed? It was allowed. Then it was allowed for retirement to go to the West. But yes, because the GDR wants the young people that can work and so on. Yes, that was the thing, and this is not easy for a young man, and that you can go to Czechoslovakia or to Poland, but that's it. But never to Coburg and some other places. Even when you are say, okay, I just want to see and look and maybe buy a little piece of chocolate or something else, or a matchbox or something else.
Wow.
So but I come back. So this was the problem.
Mm-hmm. And tell me about the music.
The music. For me, is music very important in my life because I have mostly here work on my own. I work on my own, and all the time I hear radio. And so that I can talk with you a little bit English. The reason is that we have it was free to learn for us to learn English in the GDR times. But you must learn Russian, because Russians were the friends and so on, you know. But I have friends, I have two good friends, Oy and Frank, and me. We always were Beatles fans. It doesn't matter that we are only 40 years, but old at the moment. But anyway, I don't know. We always like Beatles, and we have in the school time a very good teacher, woman, in English, and she allowed us all the time to bring cassettes, not CDs, of course, cassettes at this time, with Beatles and Stones and so on, to bring to the school, and we listen mostly to the music, and so we learn.
But it was not allowed for her to.
It was not allowed, no, because the government has problem with the Beatles, and more problems, of course, with the Rolling Stones, because they are standing for freedom, you know, and this is totally not what we had at this time.
Wow. You know, I can't imagine being told what kind of music to listen to and what that would be like for a teenage boy wanting to listen to rock and roll.
Yes.
And so that to me is amazing.
How has the internet changed your business life?
The internet has changed my business life very much, very much, yes. And we have our internet site maybe now 10 years or longer. I don't know, but I know we were one of the first glass blowers here in town that make an internet site, and it's real good. A really good thing. Yes, it brings very much customers.
And you have now visited America a few times.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit.
This is, I told you it was not possible to go to West Germany, and it was such kind of crazy for us to know now we can go to the USA, to the biggest enemy at GDR time you can ever afford it. That's what the teachers always told us. So it was in 1993. There were two teachers from Sacramento ringing on my door. This time I had not the new shop here in the Kreuzstraße. At this time I was still working at home in a small glassblower room, and they were ringing at my door. And so the Museum of Glass was telling these two people, his name is Barbara and Rolf from Sacramento, and they want to see how to make glass. And by the way, on this day I have a t-shirt with some stars and stripes and USA.
Funny.
And I know that only since this day, since this year, because I'm now back from the USA from these friends Barbara and Rolf since 5 weeks maybe, and they showed us the first pictures they took in 1993.
Oh,
and
wow.
I don't remember this day of this detail that they were ringing and I was having a t-shirt from USA. So this was it. And since 1993 we are friends, and they come maybe every 2 years, like you, to LAUSCHA. However, why ever?
Yeah, because we can't help it.
Yes, and they said, of course, okay, when you have children and they are old enough, you can come to us, and that's what we have done since 2 years ago the first time, and this year the second time.
And both times to California.
Both times to California, yes.
And so now in your yard you have a small San Francisco. You have flower power in your yard. Tell us.
Yes. Oh, Marcy.
That's true.
Yeah. Yes, the first trip we were in the USA. We were also in San Francisco, and for me is San Francisco, so let me say, the second nicest place on the earth, after LAUSCHA, of course. And I was buying there a souvenir, and I don't know what
a
is
street sign.
A street sign, yes, from San Francisco.
Yeah.
And when I'm back, I was beginning to build my garden here in the back of the workshop, and San Francisco, town of flower power.
Yes.
That's why in this area I make my own flowers, and then I put it on.
But he doesn't grow any magic mushrooms, although he does make them out of glass.
No, these are plants. Mm-hmm.
So is there anything you would like to add? Anything that we have not discussed that I forgot to ask, maybe?
No, there's nothing, but I want to only wish the people from the whole world nice Christmas with LAUSCHA glass ornaments. And best greetings to Barbara and Rolf, if they ever listen to me, and to Janine and Dee in Los Angeles. It's also friends.
Awesome. Thank you, Michael. This is Marcy Davis with Glasscaster. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, Marcy.